Don't eat that. What's in there? Okay. In the garden, part 1. I have a job for you today, my mother said. But Leon and Marcos are coming over, I told her. They can wait, she said. What do I have to do? I asked. Cut the grass, she said. I will get the lawnmower. I waited in the garden under a cherry tree. The cherries were red and ripe. I reached to pick one. Don't eat that, Mom shouted, and she gave me the lawnmower. Soon Leon and Marcos came. You will have to wait. I won't be long, I said. Marcos reached for a cherry. Don't eat that, I yelled at him. Why not? Marcos asked. I don't know, I answered. My mom said not to eat that. I know why, said Leon. It's because a small creature might live in this cherry tree. It could jump on you and make you shrink. Then you'd be small like a baby. What? I said, and stopped cutting the grass. Okay, said Leon. I will tell you a story. The fig tree, Leon's story. There was once a boy called Daku. He lived with his tribe in the bush. Every time Daku went hunting with his friends, his grandmother would say, Don't eat figs. She said, human-like creatures lived in the fig trees. They would catch people, swallow them, and spit them up over and over again. The people got smaller each time until they, too, became small creatures. But Daku laughed at the stories. Such creatures don't exist, he would say to his friends. Grandma only says that to scare me so that I will obey. One day, Daku and his friends were hunting far from their tribe's camp. They were hot and thirsty. Nearby stood a big fig tree, bent low with fruit. Look, called Daku. Let's go and eat some. No way, said Daku's friends. What if some creature does live in the treetop? We're going back home. Never mind, thought Daku. All the more figs for me to eat. Daku went to the fig tree, picked some fruit, and ate it. It was juicy and sweet. Whoosh! Something dropped onto his back. Daku toppled over. A red creature with a huge head stared at him with hungry eyes. Its fingers and toes were like small suction cups. Before Daku could run, the creature pounced on him. Daku felt a stinging pain all over his body. He was too weak to resist. Opening its toothless jaw, the creature slurped him whole, only to spit him out seconds later. Daku felt dizzy and strange. Suddenly he remembered something else Grandma said. The creature only eats people if they are alive. Daku closed his eyes and pretended to be dead. The creature walked around him and poked him with a stick, but Daku didn't move. He lay still until night came. Finally, the creature laughed and climbed to the treetop. Daku jumped up and ran until he reached the camp. What happened? Asked his grandmother. You ate some figs, didn't you? How did you know? Asked Daku. You are smaller, that's how. It's lucky you escaped. Next time, listen to what I tell you. And from then on, Daku did. Wow, said Marcos. Did Daku go back to kindergarten because he was so small? Daku was a hunter, said Leon. He didn't go to school. I wonder if he ever got back to his normal size, I said. Maybe, but only if he stayed away from fig trees, said Marcos. I know why we should not eat these cherries, I said. If we eat them, we could turn into parrots or donkeys. What do you mean? Asked Leon. Listen to this, I said. The Storm, My Story. Evie and Ben were brothers. Late one afternoon, they went to visit their aunt in the next village. Suddenly, a storm broke out. The boys spotted a small cottage by the road. The door was open. From inside, two big dogs ran to the door, barking. Then two women appeared in the doorway. "Don't worry," they said, and called the dogs back. The boys thought the women looked kind. "Please, may we stay the night?" Evie asked them. "Yes," the women replied. "Come in and have a bite to eat." When the boys sat down at the table, Ben noticed something strange. One woman was stirring boiling soup with her fingers, while the other one took bread from the oven with her bare hands. Ben was scared. There must be witches, he thought. The women put soup and bread in front of the boys. "Don't eat that," Ben whispered to Evie. "I think we'd better be going," said Ben, pushing the food away. "Nonsense," said one woman. "You must stay. The storm is getting worse." She snapped her fingers, and the dogs plucked away. "You can eat in the morning," the woman said. Evie and Ben climbed up to the loft, but did not sleep. During the night, they watched through the railing to see what the women were doing. Around midnight, one of the women opened the door and sent the dogs out. "Fetch," she said. Moments later, four donkeys entered the cottage. The woman took their saddles off, and the donkeys turned into men. The monstrous dogs watched the men carry in water and cut wood for the fire. Then the men were fed soup and bread. With every bite, they looked more like donkeys. The women put their saddles on, and the dogs herded the donkeys into the barn. In the morning, the women laid soup and bread on the table. "You must eat before you go," they ordered. "But we're late," said Ben. "Perhaps we could eat it on the way," said Evie. "All right," the women agreed. They handed the food over. The dogs followed the boys out. "Thank you for the food," said the boys, and they ran with the dogs, racing after them. No matter how fast the boys ran, the dogs kept up behind them. The bread called Ben to Evie. "Throw it." They threw it to the dogs. When they turned back, the dogs had finished the bread and were turning into donkeys. "Lucky we didn't eat that," the brothers told each other. They kept running all the way to their aunt's village. But on the way back home, they took a different path. "I wonder what was in the bread," said Marcus. "I think the witches spiced it with a potion," I said. "They also had one for turning people into pigs and chickens." "I bet your mom told you not to eat the cherries because she is going to make you cherry pancakes," Marcus said. "Do you want to hear a story? It's about a girl who was told not to eat pancakes." Uncle Ulf, Marco's story. Once there was a little girl named Bella. One day, she asked her mother to make her some pancakes. But mother was so poor, she didn't even have a skillet. "Go to Uncle Ulf's house and ask him to lend us his frying pan," said mother. Bella went to Uncle Ulf's house. What do you want?" he asked. "Mama sent me to borrow your skillet," said Bella. Uncle Ulf opened the door and gave it to her. "Tell your mother to return it full of pancakes," said Uncle Ulf. When Bella reached home, she told her mother what Uncle Ulf had said. Mother made 2 pancake stacks. One was for Bella and one was for Uncle Ulf. After Bella ate her pancakes, Mother said, "Now take the pan of pancakes back to Uncle Ulf and don't eat any of them." Along the way, Bella began to sniff the pancakes. "They smell wonderful. I think I will have one," she thought. She ate one, then another. Soon the pancakes were all gone. So Bella scraped some mud from the road, patted it flat, and made a stack of mud cakes. She reached Uncle Ulf's house and gave him the mud cakes. Uncle Ulf bit into one. "Yuck!" he spit it out. "What is this?" He looked at Bella and said, "Tonight I will punish you." Bella ran to tell her mother what Uncle Ulf had said. Mother closed all the windows and doors, but she forgot about the chimney. When night came and Bella went to bed, she could hear Uncle Ulf. "I'm going to punish you. I'm right outside." Then Bella heard clump, clump on the ceiling. "I'm going to punish you. I'm on the roof." Bella hid under the covers. "I'm going to punish you. I'm in the chimney," he said. Bella curled up in the corner. "I'm going to punish you. I'm in your room." Bella held her breath. "Now I'm at your bed." In the garden, part 2. "Leon," shouted Marcos. "You're not listening. What are you doing?" he asked. Leon was standing under the tree, squashing the fallen cherries with his foot. "Look, the cherries are moving," Leon called. We went to take a look. Leon was right. The cherries were moving because they were full of worms. The worms were fat and white, and they wiggled all around. "What's wrong?" I asked Marcos. "I'm going to be sick," he said. "He ate those cherries when you were cutting grass," Leon told me. My mother came into the garden. "Aren't you finished yet?" she asked. "What's taking you so long?" "Leon feels sick," I told her. "He ate the wormy cherries." "I should have told you about the worms," said my mother, "but I didn't think you need to hear the details. Anyway, I made you some snacks. Are you coming in?" she asked. "Thanks, Mom," I said, "but we're not very hungry now."